Welcome to People Doing Good for Others. Welcome to People Doing Good for Others, where we honor and praise and hold in the light those individuals who are truly making significant differences in our communities. I'm Gary York, and this is People Doing Good for Others. I want to thank Wilkes Communications, the River Street Network, and 100.9 WIFM for this honor, and we're so grateful to be with you today. Our featured guest is Dennis Huggins. He's a significant maker of great things for people. He sees opportunities and knows how to put people together. He's from Tabor City. He's a graduate of East Carolina, and his wife Jan, they've been a great team here in this community. And so thank you for being with us today. And we're going to talk about raising money for honorable causes. And thank you again. And good morning to you, Dennis Huggins.
Good morning, Gary.
Good to have you here with us. What an honor to be sitting with you is just thrills me. And so when this is over, I'll be a better person, I know for sure. Thank you. So I thought it'd be a great opportunity for us to visit those meaningful events that have happened under your watch, if you will. So how'd you just all of a sudden from Lowe's to the school system and started maybe with a library? Tell us how we got started here.
Well, once I left Lowe's in 2000, I got into nonprofit fundraising, and I had developed some of my skills over the years through works with the Boy Scouts and works with high schools and drawdowns, if you're familiar with the drawdown approach, and church fundraising and things like that. So it was not something I had done before, but fundraising was not totally new to me. And so I got the opportunity in August of 2000 to go with the Yadkin River Greenway, and I was their first director. And we were putting a walkway through Wilkesboro that is now 18 years old, and we started out with a 1.2 mile, and I think it's 20, 30 miles through the towns now and county, and most of it is paved, some of it is not. And I stayed with the Greenway for 3 years, and I got an opportunity to help another nonprofit, the Wilkes Heritage Museum, used to be called Old Wilkes, and I stayed with them for 3 years, and we restored the old courthouse in Wilkesboro to what it is today as the Wilkes Heritage Museum. And I was there for 3 years, and it looked like I was pretty much working myself out of a job. And I was making a presentation over at the community college to some community leaders about how to take the history of Wilkes County and put it and digitize it. And I was making the presentation of what I would think if I was chosen to lead that or be a consultant on that project, what would I do? And Dr. Steve Laws was in that meeting, and he called me the next morning and he says, "I've got a project that I want you to talk to me about." And little did I know that what he was talking about was the Board of Education moving their office to Cherry Street in North Wilkesboro, which is commonly known as the Stone Center. Right. And so that's how I got involved with Steve as a consultant, and then a few months later he gave me the opportunity to be a full-time employee, and it was one of the best moves that I made. So here we are 13 years later.
Dennis Huggins, tell us about this relationship building that goes along with raising money and some of the just diamond things that have to be to people want to give, but they have a lot of discretion about how they're going to do it. Tell us about developing relationships.
Well, I think people give to people because you're interested in a project, got a good project. And you certainly want to be honest and truthful and trustworthy about giving. And I always feel that if I'm not giving myself, how can I ask somebody else to give money? So that's kind of the one-on-one relationship that I enjoy and that has helped me in fundraising over the years. So, just being honest with people and telling them what you do, and then you yourself support the project. And I have had the opportunity to have a lot of interesting projects over the years with the school system.
Yeah. All right, let's go back to the Stone Center and where Dr. Laws was at that moment and just how you got involved in it.
Well, on the outside, it looked like just a regular building, but on the inside, they had totally remodeled it and set it up from where Lowe's had it in with a lot of cubicle offices into offices, and in the back of it, there was a performing arts center, state-of-the-art art center that was almost finished when I got involved with it. And this was the opportunity. Most of the schools don't have anywhere to have band concerts or dramas or the proms, except for in the gym. And the sounds aren't real good in the gym. So we created a performing arts center for our students, for the community, and it is still used probably 300 times a year.
300 times a year.
Whether it's a nonprofit using it or our schools using it. And our schools have the first priority, but they, like I said, they have all the proms are there, the band concerts, the drama clubs there, middle school, high school, and Battle of the Books are there, their spelling bees are there, and we have an art gallery there too, so we have our student art on display there. The funds we raised for this was all private funds. There was no state funds involved. Lowe's gave us a tremendous opportunity to get this building at a very nominal cost, and so we were able to open it up in, I guess it was in March of 2006 as the Stone Family Center for Performing Arts and the Wilkes County Administrative Offices.
And so there are over 300 nights or days a year that the auditorium is used.
And sometimes there's two things going on in one. We have a partition wall with the state-of-art lighting, sound, the technology, the big screen boards. We can have two programs going on at one, or we can just have one large program. The Stone Center seats about 600. In a dinner theater sitting, it sits about 300.
So did Dr. Laws talk about having the idea to do that, or do you know a little, can you tell us about how, maybe before you got there?
It was his vision to create this performing arts center. He had thought through most of it except the money part of it, and that's where I came in, and we got together and we formed a plan, a strategy, if you will, and we were fortunate enough to contact several Lowe's retirees, and we challenged them through Larry Stone. Larry was the
Larry Stone,
president
and his
of Lowe's.
wife. All right.
He and his wife Diane and their two sons. They allowed us to, certainly the name Stone Family is why it's named that. Is Larry Stone helped us tremendously to get the building in to help us get started raising funds for it.
Dennis Huggins, this project Admit, let's go into that one now, if you will.
Okay, well that was a little different. Project Admit is a concept that Dr. Marty Hemrick, who was superintendent then, came up with the idea of allowing students to learn. ADMIT stands for Advanced Development in Manufacturing and Integrated Technology courses. And these courses are taught by community college instructors at our campuses. And so in order to do this, we had to build a facility at 3 of the 4 high schools to accommodate these new classrooms. There's a new West and Wilkes Central and North. East had just built a building that we easily converted to do this. And so the college instructors come to our schools now. And this is the third year, I believe, that we've finished, and we teach courses that actually are relating to jobs and are good paying jobs that have to do stuff around the new jobs, around the new way of manufacturing, whether it's 3D printing or computer gaming or robotics, electrical, engineering, heating and cooling. Those jobs are a lot of places, even in Wilkes County, but there's a lot of need for those types of jobs. So we were able to start that. Students get credit, college credit and high school credit at the same time. And
Is that the Career Promise?
It's part of the Career Promise,
Okay.
the Career and Technical Education, CTE, so that's all part of the same thing.
So you've have been at the heart of the college, developing more significant relationships with the high schools and seeing that come together.
And this was a community project. Yes, we had the relationship with the community college, but it took funding, and the Wilkes Economic Development was part of that. They helped us. They were the first that decided that this was something they wanted to be a part of, and it can only help the economic development of the
Right.
county, bringing in more skilled workers, and these students are getting either certificates, they're getting diplomas, they're acquiring new skills that allow them to do these jobs, and someday we'll get another company to come in and just because of our labor force. So the Wilkes Economic Development helped us. They challenged some other organizations to come up. The county came up big. John Yates, the county manager, and individuals that are used to giving or wanting to give to new projects. So we did, it's a couple million, I guess,
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
what we ended up with that, and it's an ongoing type deal, and our numbers are increasing. Even though the college was teaching these courses, they were not having a lot of students get into it. So this allows some time for the high school student to get involved at the college campus once they get to the certain certificates or to get those 2-year diplomas.
Dennis Huggins, we remember a young lady that today's in law school who Wilkes Schools, Community College, UNC, and now Wake Forest Law School with no debt.
With no debt.
Talk about that a little bit.
Brooke Church, I think, is who you're talking
it
about,
is.
and she was she went to the early college high school and took her courses, and then when she became 16, she figured out that she could take college courses in the summertime, and so she got ahead, and she ended up graduating from high school with a high school diploma and 2 associate science and associate arts degree at the same time. She entered Carolina at 19 years old and graduated from Carolina with a 4-year degree at the age of 20. And she is now in her 2nd semester of law school at Wake Forest,
Right.
and debt-free. She was able to get scholarships and funding to get her there. Very determined to achieve these goals at a very, very young age.
Very determined and committed. Also, a lot of people were encouraging her and helping her overcome hurdles. If I remember that conversation we had about it takes a community, it takes individuals that saw in Brooke the opportunity that she could achieve about anything she decided to do.
And she was very well-rounded. She was an athlete.
Yeah.
She taught swimming lessons at the Y, and just every time something came up, she was in the drama club. She performed at the Stone Center, and I got to know her through our youth leadership program as an 11th grader and as a 12th grader in the youth philanthropy program. So I was fortunate enough to have the opportunity to meet her and see her leadership style, her leadership ability, and it thrills me when I get a note from her.
I bet. And I'm sure you get notes. She's the type of person that would be grateful forever and ever for all the blessings that she received
Yes,
here.
yes, very much.
Alan Mebbin. Let's get involved with him for a few minutes, if you will.
Alan was a business entrepreneurial, owned a company in Moxville, Unify, and had a Mebbin Foundation that had started funding projects that had to deal with technology and education. And I applied for his grant one year, and I asked him for $25,000. And after he received my grant application, he called and wanted to come see me, see what I was talking about.
Oh my.
So one summer, he showed up a week early. We were not anticipating him being in the building, but within a few minutes, we were able to accommodate him, and we took him out to several schools and showed him what we were doing with technology and smart boards and how teachers were using technology in the classroom. And the teacher, I remember, that really probably made his light bulb go off about this project, showed him how she got elementary students involved with using the Mickey Mouse finger and reach up and touch the smart board. They didn't let their size keep them from working on the board, and he was just thrilled with that. So he came back and he challenged us. He says, I will give you, first he said, I'll give you $300,000. And he came back, he says, I'll give you $400,000, but you've got to raise $1 million to get that. And so we accepted his challenge, and through several foundations, the Golden Leaf Foundation and Lowe's Charitable Foundation, we got $1.9 million out of those two instead of $1 million. And so he called me up and he says, I wish I'd have gave you a check for $25,000, but you've done what you said you would do, and I accept the challenge. And so we ended up getting $400,000 through him. And that really kick-started us into not only purchasing smart boards and laptops for teachers, but it enabled us to go to the next phase, which was to put one-on-one computers in our students' hands in high schools and the middle school.
Wow. And that started with you applying a few dollars in a grant.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And what is that, $2.5 million later?
Right. And,
how do you do that?
I'm just
And
very,
I was so
blessed.
interested when you talked about he showed up early.
yeah.
And totally unprepared, but we'd gotten gear in a hurry.
He had hired Larry Colburn to be the president of his foundation and do the day-to-day task in it, and it was his first day on the job, and I guess he thought that everybody should know about him. And Larry was a Wake Forest graduate and played baseball, and he and Dr. Laws hit it off because of their Wake Forest connection, and that's another part of that, building that relationship and finding out the ins and outs of what really makes him tick and everything. But they were very supportive and helped us to get started in our technology and education challenge. Let's
revisit briefly, if you will, the Lowe's folks that are here. Larry Stone and Arnold Lakey and Phil Stevens and others. You also mentioned the Golden Leaf. Tell us just a little bit about that.
The Golden Leaf Foundation was founded as a tobacco settlement through the tobacco companies that the federal government thought they ought to be giving back to what they produce with tobacco and the ill effects of it. And so they have been in existence for quite a few years and have helped us on different projects. And of course, the technology they were certainly interested in, and they also helped us with Project Advent. It's a statewide organization, and they do a lot of things for us. And Golden Leaf is one of the strongest foundations that we have, and year in, year out.
The Appalachian Regional Corporation,
yeah,
is that?
The ARC. They are, their guidelines, they want to help you with some type of equipment.
Okay.
So we were fortunate enough to get them to help us fund computers, and they have a limit. Theirs was around 200,000, and that's all they want to do. But we got their funding, and they have made visits to our school. When President Obama was here at West doing his speech one year, the president of ARC showed up unexpectedly and walked around and saw our students using computers. And he met Dr. Laws and told him that their funding was well spent, and they were very appreciative that we were using their funds to our advantage. And so they helped us with that. They also helped us with Project Admit, then again with equipment. We bought some new equipment to go in our new classrooms at our 4 high schools. And then again, it was around that 200,000 mark.
Duke Energy?
Duke is a very a good community. They have several different grant programs, and they've helped us in literacy. The Big Read, which was a program we did through our philanthropy group, that we'd go out to the high schools, to the middle schools and elementary school and read to our students and give each one of them a book, and they've helped us in that. They helped us in Project Admit. They've helped us with the band projects, but they've several different pots that you can choose from, different time of year, different grant funding cycles and everything. But they're a big part of what we do with Duke Energy.
So the Lowe's Foundation continues to be a contributor.
I was looking. I hate to tell you this, but I had to write all this down. Lowe's Charitable Foundation has helped us not only in the technology for education. They provided us funds for softball fields, tennis courts, media center, STEM labs, playgrounds. They have helped us with the Leader in Me program. Just tremendously have helped us over the 13 years I've been with the school system, and continue to offer opportunities for their employees in hero projects to go to a school and help them do a beautification project or stuff like that. So but they have really helped us out and continue. Lowe's is a great community partner, not only in Wilkes County, but all over the United States, everywhere they have stores.
Leader in Me, talk about that.
Leader in Me is a middle school program that we have, and we're in the 3rd year of that, where it's based on Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Successful Businessmen,
Okay.
and they formatted it to middle and elementary schools, but we have it in our 4 elementary schools, where they take the 7 habits and are applying it to their daily schoolwork and take it home with them. And sometimes they're having to teach their parents how to be proactive, how to sharpen the saw, or whatever the skill is. But it's every one of our students are leaders. There's some that are at different levels, but everyone can be a leader, and this teaches. And when you walk in, and I think you can witness this, walk in our
I've been in
middle
North
school.
Middle, and was just in the middle of it. It's amazing.
When you walk in, there's something different. There's something going on. The atmosphere, the air, something's different. But you've got all our employees were trained first. It didn't matter what you were doing at the school. All of our employees had been trained how to be proactive and how to look at students and how to make conversation with them. And you can tell students that they want to be leaders, and they're doing things. They're forming their own clubs. They're wanting to help the community. So this is a great program. And I actually was talking to Heather Freeman, the principal at North Middle, you mentioned yesterday, and she said, you won't believe what our high school principals are telling us. When our students are leaving the middle school, they're seeing that this leadership is bleeding over into high school, and they're wanting to help in the community. They want to volunteer for projects, and how can they make our community better? So this is it's ongoing. It's retrainable skills. It's just a great program.
Dennis Huggins, 13 years as Director of Development, and Leonard Herring and the Herring Foundation. Let's visit that, if you will.
Mr. Herring came to Dr. Laws and I one day and said, I want to talk to you about a project. And he had been to Duke, and he and his wife had heard this lady talk about a program that they had in Alabama who were teaching children about philanthropy and how to give back. And so he approached us and he said, I want to financially support this, and I want our students to learn how to give back, knowing that once they graduate from high school, maybe move away, maybe not come back, but somewhere, wherever they live, they can help their community know about giving back and about philanthropy. So we started a program with high school seniors, and he provided the funds for, they actually take, they develop an application, and they go out and market it, and then they get the applications back in, and then they will choose, just like another nonprofit, how to give this money back to help the community. And usually we have $7,000, $7,500 a year to give out. This year we had 15 applications, and when they meet in February, they'll decide how to distribute that money, and they have to come to consensus as a group of 18 who gets the money. And it's a tremendous process.
And he was the Lowe's CEO.
Mr. Herring was the
Right.
Lowe's CEO, and was part of that built Lowe's to what it is today. And his foundation continues to be very supportive in all our student needs.
The T3LC.
That's the Youth Philanthropy Group, and T3LC stands for Time, Talent, and Treasures, leading to change in Wilkes County.
Right.
And we meet on a monthly basis, starting in August, and we'll meet until May. And these students, their primary goal is to develop this application and to see how much we can give back to the community. We're getting close to 300 T3LC alumni over the
300.
Yeah, this is the 12th year of it this year.
Dennis Huggins, what a journey. What an incredible opportunity presented to you, and you just embraced it.
Well, I think you've heard me say that when you have these opportunities, you've got to take hold of it and try and make a positive impact. And I hope that's what I've done. I hope that's what people will remember me for, is being able to be around young people and see their opportunity to be leaders. And so many times we don't want to, we want to give them credit, but we got to give them credit where credit's due. And
Yeah.
there's a lot. I have the very most fun job. It's just been so blessed to see that light bulb go off when you see that leadership ability in those students, and when they might be here one day and the next day they're up here, and it's just.
You also, we talked about the Page couple downtown and Window World.
Carl and Brenda Page, they run a company called Page Interworks. They're an engineering and consulting firm, and they were doing a lot of work to help in the community with Habitat and the Habitat Restore. And I got into a discussion with them one day, and Dr. Laws called me and says, "Who is Carl and Brenda Page?" I said, "Well, you go to church with them, you tell me." But they are just tremendous supporters of the community, have helped us in the technology. They've helped us in Project Admint. And I guess the most remarkable thing they helped us with was the project that we did back in 2009, I believe it was, when the economy was so bad. Dr. Laws came up with a format called Dancing with the Principal Stars, where he gave them no option that they were going to dance, and we were going to try and raise money for technology. And went to talk to Brenda and Carl, and they gave us the money for our grand prize, which was $10,000. So once we had that threshold, then we started our others, and we ended up raising $300,000. We had 2-night performances of our principals over at the Walker Center, 1,100 people. We sold out both nights. We could have sold out 2 more nights. The economy was so bad, but this was just an opportunity for everybody just to kind of sit back and relax and have fun for 2 nights. And we found out some of our principals had a lot of talent. Some of them needed to stay on the golf course, but most of all, there was a lot of talent, and it was just a tremendous. We had judges, we had Kimberly Van Scoren from WXII. She was a judge, but then Austin Cavness was a participant. And you know, Austin's, what is he, 6'5"? He's a big guy. Well, his dancing partner, Sharon Blackburn, was not quite as tall, but they looked good together dancing, and we had a good time. We got a lot of free publicity out of Channel 12 out of this, and that they kind of started making fun of each other. Well, you can't dance. Well, you wait and see. I'm gonna show you who can dance, and I'm gonna like kind of like
made $300,000.
We made $300,000, and we decided we couldn't do that again, so we haven't tried to duplicate it. But it was a tremendous opportunity, and the winning school got the $10,000 worth of technology, and that's just another phase of how we all did it. But it was a community event, and it was just a great opportunity, and you know, everything fell together.
Dennis, you and your family have honored us in so many countless ways, and personally, you just embraced me and introduced me to some people that have been life-changing, as you have been. So for these 13, going on 14 great years of just being a mainstay of this county, and just in so many ways, everywhere we look, we see your touch. So tell us about your wife's support and how, just a little bit about the gratitude you've sensed today, having had this opportunity. And not only did you seize it, you just embraced it and just took us to a level we never dreamed.
Well, I am very blessed, and to have a wonderful wife as Jan. She's helped me in everything I've ever done, and we're both behind the scenes people, but she pushes me up a little bit, and she has been a tremendous help in everything that I've tried to do, and just so blessed that I've had the opportunity to. We've raised 2 adult children, and I guess we did as good as we could do, and we're very proud of them too. And Jan is just she's a very giving person, and she understands, she listens well, and I think a lot of times maybe we all don't listen good enough, but she's taught me to listen more, and when I am proactive, maybe I've listened before I've leaped.
You're always seeking and finding ways to serve God, family, friends, and worthy causes. And the Wilkes County Schools, the Wilkes Community College, and all those who've see an opportunity and have just taken advantage of it in countless ways. God bless you, friend.
Thank you.
Thank you
very much.
Thank you, Dennis. This is Gary York. This is the end of Dennis's career here, but he'll be into something else, doing good. So thank you for blessing us, and till we can meet again, have a wonderful, blessed life and make a difference in the lives of others. Thank you.